cafe, coffee with a side of koi. Anyone? In Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City, there's a fish cafe, and I don't mean a cafe where you eat fish. Cafe Ikan is a 3-floor coffee shop. The first floor looks pretty normal, but the second and third floors are flooded with ankle-deep water and filled with swimming fish. One of the floors is dedicated to smaller fish, and the other is teeming with carp. So you can take your pick as to which you might like to have your coffee with. Guests take their shoes off and walk barefoot in the water as they take their seats, with fish very likely to nip at their toes. Cafe owner Nguyen Duc Hoa spoke out about his brainchild, saying, "I wanted to create a unique concept that did not exist in any other place. I am from a coastal city. I love fish and thought it was a good way to create a business combining innovation and my hobby. My main concern is how hygienic this is." The cafe claims to use a 24-hour water filtration system to keep the water clean, but if fish spas have been banned in malls across the United States and Europe because the fish can pass bacteria, I'm not sure how this cafe is safe. Would you want coffee while sitting in a fish bowl? Let us know in the comments. Number 9. Modern toilet. What could be more delicious than a poop-themed restaurant? There's a restaurant in Taipei called Modern Toilet where everything is toilet bowl and poop-themed, from the food to the decor. Guests even sit on toilets instead of chairs. The food is styled to look like piles of poop, and guests can order dishes such as the turd sub sandwich, a constipation black stool snow cone, or a urine clots mango snow shaving. If that doesn't whet your appetite, maybe you'd like the poop stuffed pancake or a hot pot served in a toilet bowl. The owner, Wang Zy, claims his inspiration for the restaurant came from a robot character in a Japanese cartoon who loved to play with poop and swirl it on a stick. Right. I'm not sure I totally get it, but YouTuber Reformat seemed to love it. If you want to see more, check out this video. Number 8. Vampire Cafe. Nestled in a totally unassuming looking building in Tokyo, Japan, there's a vampire-themed restaurant. Signs greet customers, welcoming them to their death, and once they step inside, they're fully immersed into a horror dining experience. The restaurant has gone hard with the theme. There are coffins, candles, plenty of red velvet, and the odd smear of fake blood. Or at least I hope it's fake. Servers are dressed in gothic costumes and act like strange undead creeps, and the menu boasts offerings such as evil animals slaughtered by the family, the body of Van Helsing, or forest of deads and bats, whatever that is. A video uploaded by Tokidoki Traveler gives a good insight. 2 tourists visit and experience the restaurant in all its spooky glory. When their food comes, servers in character even perform chants and sprinkle the dish with blood. This restaurant definitely isn't for the faint-hearted. Number 7. War Bunker. I think we can all agree that the 2 world wars were a terrifying and stressful time for pretty much everyone involved, but there does seem to be a strange romanticism around the era. In London, England, there's a bar styled like a Blitz air raid shelter and abandoned underground train station. To visit Cahoots is to step back into the 1940s, a time where rations were low but spirits were high. Part of the restaurant is styled out like an old train carriage, and guests are handed printed Cahoots newspapers written in Old English. The bar is a speakeasy style, and drinks are served in old mugs, hip flasks, vintage milk bottles, and tins. You can even order a drink served up in a Winston Churchill head. Bites are grandmother's pantry style and feature old English classics like meat pies, fruitcake, sausage rolls, and finger sandwiches. Cahoots actually sounds like it's kind of fun. They have old school style performers to add to the vibe. Number 6. Jailhouse. Who watching this video would pay to be locked up and served prison food? A jail-themed restaurant in Bangalore, India wants to entertain its guests by serving them food in a cell. Diners are welcomed by prison guards and shown to their cells. Thick black bars stretch from floor to isolating diners from other groups, and there are fake guns strapped to the ceiling. The menu looks pretty mainstream though. It definitely seems much better than actual prison food. Number 5. Au naturel. Okay, so I think maybe this one has gone too far. In 2017, in Paris, France, a nudist restaurant opened up called Au Naturel. The intimate restaurant seated 40 diners and claimed to be the French capital's first nudist restaurant. For around $57.50 a head, diners could enjoy a 3-course meal in the nude eatery, where the only fabric around was the tablecloths. The entrance to the restaurant was concealed and the windows were covered entirely with curtains. The aim of the restaurant was to encourage people to feel more at one with nature and comfortable in their own bodies. But unfortunately for Au Naturel, Paris was just not ready for it. The restaurant closed after a short while, and there are other similar restaurants across the world. Number 4. Wine Lagoon. Okay, so not so much a restaurant than a spa, but still an Epicurean experience that would delight any gourmand. The Unison Spa Resort in Japan invites customers to bathe in a giant pool filled with red wine poured from a 12-foot bottle. Apparently, bathing in wine is excellent for stimulating skin cells. It isn't advised that bathers drink the wine in the pool because, well, warm wine with notes of stewed, sweaty human probably isn't great, but revelers can drink a glass of fresh wine as they enjoy the pool. What pairs well with wine? Ramen, apparently. There's also a giant ramen pool filled with noodles. Or if that doesn't interest you, perhaps the lurid green tea bath will. Number 3. Casa Bonita. There's Mexican restaurants, and then there is Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita is beyond next level. It's utterly insane. Located in the United States in Denver, Colorado, the wild and imaginative establishment has been open since 1974. Considered a super restaurant, the place sprawls over 52,000 square feet and can seat over 1,000 people. The restaurant has Mexico meets Disneyland meets Las Vegas vibes, if you can picture such a place. There are hidden caves, mariachi bands, magic shows, gunfights, sword fights, arcade games, a mischievous gorilla, and a 30-foot waterfall that houses pirate shows and divers. Oh, and it's a restaurant too. Clearly, Casa Bonita isn't just about the food, it's a whole experience. Although the sopapillas are pretty famous. Casa Bonita is so weird that it even featured in an episode of South Park. Number 2. Robot Restaurant. Whoa, this restaurant looks like it would either be the most fun you ever had in your life or it'd give you a seizure. Obviously, this crazy establishment is in Japan because where else could bring you something this wacky? Located in Shinjuku City, the robot restaurant serves up sushi alongside the most utterly insane piece of dinner theater in the world. Diners enter into a neon light fantasy land via 2 giant robot statues and are seated. The restaurant's decor and atmosphere is wild enough, but has nothing on what's coming up. Dancing robots, crocodiles, rock stars, feathered dancers, puppets, and more take to mobile stages in a raucous room filled with lasers. The whole experience looks like a sensory overload, so we'd advise for you to stay well away if you have epilepsy. Number 1. Hospitalis. Food and surgical procedures do not go hand in hand in my opinion, but tell that to Latvia. Hospitalis is a quirky hospital-themed restaurant in Eastern Europe, and let me tell you this, they go hard with the theme. Customers are treated like patients, and all waitstaff are dressed up like nurses and surgeons. Drinks are served in IV drip bags or in medical test beakers. Diners eat on operating tables and use surgical equipment as utensils. The decor is stark and clinical, just like a hospital, but also has pops of red and medical symbols and blood splatters. Diners can also opt to be placed in a straitjacket and force-fed by doctors. That was the 10 weirdest restaurants in the world. I started this list hungry, but now I'm pretty exhausted. These were kind of crazy. Which of these restaurants on the list would you most likely eat at? Let us know in the comment section, or maybe you've even been to one on this list. That'd be pretty cool too. If you have, you've got to tell us all about it.